All right, this will be good. I get excited about these partner presentations. We've cherished our partners, our relationships, so we're thrilled to have SentinelOne here. This is going to be really good.
Larry, you never want to go it alone. You ever want to go it alone. SentinelOne's here at its best.
2 for 1, double the presentation benefit.
That's right. And we're going to do this in a nice casual conversation style, right? You guys are just going to talk about some of this. That'll be really good. And we're going to keep this nice and brief. So if you're passing by, come on in. You've not missed anything. We got raffle tickets here. Just raise your hand if you did not get one. We'll make sure we get one. Get in on this drawing here. By the way, there is another opportunity for you to win. At any point, if you want to, step up to our kiosk right here. Take our quick 5-question risk assessment quiz. It takes just a few seconds to do it. And if you do that for us, we'll get you one of our cool tote bags and a card that could win you one of those really awesome Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses. Those things are awesome. Have you seen those sunglasses? Those you're giving away? They've got AI built. I know. You can take phone calls. You would definitely be the coolest kid at school, of course. Yeah, there's no question about that. So you'll get a chance to win one of those as well. What can I tell you? We have a full schedule of these presentations the next 2 days. This is going to be the best one. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I suppose this is the... I wasn't sure. But no, we have the others will be almost as good. So definitely you want to come back for some of those.
No pressure, Larry.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. No pressure on me. It's just you. Oh, there's no pressure. This is easy. I can say whatever, then you guys have to fulfill that promise. That's right. She has to do that.
All right. If you're passing by, come on in, guys. Just grab a little space here. We'll make sure you get one of the raffle tickets. Got Miles, Chris are both out here circulating. They got the raffle tickets. They'll be glad to make sure you can get those.
Those are JBL speakers, right?
Yeah, really nice.
They are super cool. You can literally throw them in the water.
Yeah, hell, take it, play it.
I have one at home. They're cool.
Yeah.
Ask my kids if the...
You got your ticket? So if you won, Sandeep, tell me, which would you choose? Would you choose the headphones or would you choose the waterproof Bluetooth speaker? The speaker, yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, the speaker's the better one. Trust me.
Well, the headphones are really cool. But a lot of you already have those, so, it just depends.
So I'm a child, boss. It depends what you need.
I'm a child of the 80s. I love walking around with a boombox on my shoulder.
Or this we go.
Go, Joe.
All right. But they're smaller now. They're not as cool. They're not walking around with a big box.
Yes, it used to be a workout.
Yeah. As my son said, Dad, you're old. You're from the 1900s.
Suze.
Wow. Ouch.
And how many D batteries had to power some of those things? It was last 45 minutes.
All right, we're getting really close here. Loretta, thank you for your patience. I'm just trying to make sure we start on time because some people may show up and say, hey, wait a minute. I wanted to see this. So if you're passing by, guys, you haven't missed anything. Come on in. Grab up. We got plenty of space here. Come on in. Make yourselves comfortable. You can grab food. That's fine. It could be sort of a dinner theater presentation. Yeah, use that table right here. You guys could break out into song and dance anytime you feel like it. Slide drivers aren't. I give you permission. Did you need a raffle ticket? You got a raffle ticket? You got it? You got yours? All right, good. Awesome. All right, we're getting close now. 1 minute away, Gals, and then I'll get us started here. Well, in fact, we do have another presentation coming up at 2 o'clock. Another one of our partner presentations. Zscaler is going to be joining us. SentinelOne. Exactly. That's going to be a great conversation as well. But first things first, SentinelOne. So, all right. I think I'm going to go ahead and get things kicked off here. We will continue to invite folks to join us as we go along. But in the meantime, let's get started. I want to thank all of you for joining us here at Mimecast. We really, really appreciate it. Again, if you're passing by, you haven't missed anything, I'm going to get started right now. Come on in. All right, here we go, folks. Again, thank you for joining us at Mimecast. I want you to thank you for joining us for this special partner presentation. Over the next few minutes, we're going to have a really insightful discussion with our trusted partner, SentinelOne. Here to lead the discussion is Joe Tibbetts, Vice President, Technology Alliances and APIs at Mimecast. Joe has over 25 years of industry experience, including over 7 years right here at Mimecast. Joining Joe is Joseph Poyner. Senior Director Solutions Engineering at SentinelOne. Joseph, too, has a wealth of industry experience, including, I believe, over 5 years at SentinelOne. And by the way, for over 11 years, has been an assistant scoutmaster, so we know we can trust what he says. Please join me in giving a warm welcome for Joe Tibbetts and Joseph Poyner. Let's hear it for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here, Joe. As you've heard, Joe Tibbetts, Tech Alliances, APIs, open platform. So what we thought we'd do today was something a little different. Instead of just doing a deep dive demo, we're going to have more of a cybersecurity talk, cover some pertinent topics that SentinelOne has very specific views on, has led the industry in a number of areas, as well as talk about how we integrate our platforms together, all wrapped around human risk. Anything you want to add before we jump in?
No, let's jump right in. I love it.
All right. So just to baseline everyone, Mimecast, when you really think of us, we're evolving to a human risk platform. So what does that actually mean? Well, what it means is we want to identify Allison Clark and really understand her risk profile. Is she very risky? Is she low risk? Should we maybe lighten up some of those adaptive policies? Should we maybe restrict her? So to do this, we can't go it alone with just Mimecast products and services. We need to have a broad partner ecosystem. So what we're talking about here today is looking at SentinelOne, how we can ingest data in, how we can actually take response actions out across our entire portfolios. That's what we'll cover over the next few minutes.
Yeah, and some people might ask, why is that important? And I'll give you a good example. Would you mind jumping ahead for a bit? I'll give you an example. I was one of the youngest red teamers ever to be identified, and coincidentally, I was identified as by my father at the age of 9, because in 1989, I downloaded a virus onto our computer. It wiped out our taxes, wiped out our computer. My dad said, I have no interest in ever touching a computer ever again, and my cybersecurity career was born. Now, what was the mistake that my father made was that he had a poor risk score understanding of his child. You know, I was out there, he thought I was just playing on some video games, having a good time, but really, I was on the early internet, getting on into places that I shouldn't and downloading files that I shouldn't. And so it's that type of danger that we together are trying to solve for, is improving that insight about each one of your users, because all it takes is one mistake, one accidental link click, and you go from having a normal Monday to having the worst Monday of your life.
So the big follow-up question there was, the 9-year-old you, what was the response action of your father knowing that you wiped out taxes for the entire year?
To turn off the computer and then hold his head for about 2 days.
All right, that's fair. Well, first, I think we covered just a couple of topics. First is human risk meets the endpoint. So many signals we need to get, right? It's not just, are you attacked from phishing? Did you fail a phishing simulation test? How are you doing from email security perspective? We need to look at identity like Okta and SailPoint and CyberArk. But from specifically an endpoint perspective, what are the signals that would be interesting to bring into a human risk score from a SentinelOne perspective? How do you calculate that? How do you do it differently? And what are we ingesting?
Absolutely. So SentinelOne, of course, is a fantastic EDR solution. We gather telemetry off of every single endpoint, and we are constantly watching what our users do every single day. We trust nobody. Doesn't matter if you work for the company, if you're outside the company, if you're a contractor, we are suspicious of everybody. We gather every process. We gather every file that you open, every website that you visit, and we're constantly building a model of what you look like on that computer. If you're just opening Microsoft Office, hey, that's normal behavior for a Monday morning. Let's let you continue doing that. Oh, you open up an Office document with a macro. Maybe that's a little suspicious. Oh, that macro goes out to the open internet. Whoa, we got alarm bells going off. Let's increase that score. And so that's what SentinelOne is tracking over time for each one of our users with our behavioral AI engine. Whenever you're doing benign operations on that system, we let you continue doing your job. As soon as you pass that threshold of going from, hey, this might be bad, to, you're starting to do bad things, that's when we start taking action, and we'll quarantine processes and basically stop you from curbing the business.
And just think of how important that is from a risk score perspective. You could have signals coming in from 90 different actions, right? And you are a perfect, saying you are across the board. If we didn't have a signal coming from SentinelOne, knowing there's malware on your machine, burning it down right now, that's got a little different perspective, right? So there's an important signal there. So that's kind of the integration that we have today with SentinelOne for Freedom Risk. We're pulling in those malware detections, alerts, and telemetry to influence that risk score. Now, want to talk a little bit now about this kind of revolution. So you guys were at the forefront of migrating from EPP to EDR to XDR. So I'm using a bunch of acronyms. Can you kind of share a little about what happened in that evolution and what you've done to be at that forefront? And then we can touch base a little bit about some of the integrations that we have with.
Absolutely. So Endpoint originally started out back in the day, back in the 1900s when I was doing this stuff as signature-based antivirus. We all had McAfee floating around and we all hated that patch update cycle and it was miserable. And eventually with Endpoint, we got to a stage where we said, hey, this just isn't functional. We can't keep pushing out signature-based updates. We need to do something automated. And so that's where SentinelOne came to the forefront with AI-based technology to watch all of these signals that are happening on the endpoint in real time to make a determination, is somebody doing something good or bad?
Purple AI?
Purple AI, exactly. You got it. More and more AI being added every day because I don't know about you guys, nobody's getting more headcount. No company out there is going, yeah, sure, you need 10 more people. Here's 10 more people. We have to do more with technology. And so that's what we did. So that was the EDR push. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, we transitioned into this XDR push. And essentially what XDR is the realization, guys, that security and cybersecurity, it is a team sport. No longer do you have just one tool doing its one thing in here in the corner and it's successful. In order to be successful in securing an environment, we have to work together because at the end of the day, I can be the best endpoint solution on the planet, but I am never going to get into what Mimecast says. We have no desire to get into email security. You guys have been doing it for
2003.
Since 2003. Even if we said, yeah, we want to do this, we've never catch up. And so XDR, the point of XDR is not only say, hey, SentinelOne is great at what it does, but in order to secure an environment, we need to work together, converse, and share signals and data back and forth.
That's right. So what we started to do, one of your first adopted customers was brought in our telemetry, our logs, all that email traffic. So you can actually visualize all of the activity from an email perspective in Singularity platform and have response actions.
Exactly correct. Exactly.
Probably gets us into the next one, which is now we've rolled out, meaning SentinelOne has rolled out now AI SIM, right? So we now take that and double down on being able to really look at that. Can you share that evolution?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the statistic nowadays is that most companies of mid to high level size have between 40 and 80 tools that constitute security. It's ridiculous. I mean, think of how many tools you log into every day just to do your job. Now, if you're not in cybersecurity, multiply that times 10. You have to monitor the firewall. You have to monitor an email product. You have to monitor all your web servers and on and on and on. And so what we noticed is attackers would take advantage of the fact that in order to do an investigation, an analyst had to look at 25 tools. If I can simply attack an environment before he has time to look over at that tool, then I can win. It's like those old video games where they had a spotlight, and as long as you avoided the spotlight, you were safe. Attackers, as long as they're going at you and the security spotlight isn't on them, you're fine. And so with AI SIM, what we did to speed up these investigations is we've reduced the number of tools that somebody would need to get into. So for example, if I'm investigating a malware alert and I see, oh, Joe's computer has a piece of malware. How did that malware get there? Well, I see that it was launched via Outlook. Well, now with integrations to Mimecast, we can pull in all of their logs and see, did that email flow through the Mimecast gateway? Was it secure? How did it get into our environment? Nope, it didn't come from email. It came from a thumb drive and was attached out. And so all of this integration can be brought to bear to make it very easy for an analyst to understand not only SentinelOne logs, but also tools like Mimecast.
Wow, that's so powerful. And why don't we wrap with the so what? So now you've got a SIM that's generating some detection, some things that might be interesting, human risk scores that say, hey, I got some risky users. What are the actions that when you integrate email security, Mimecast, our insider product, which is see sensitive data handling violations like DLB, once we see that, what attributes can Mimecast share with SentinelOne in our automated platforms as we bring these together to really kind of help those users, help the security teams?
Yeah, we've got a lot of them up here on the screen. SentinelOne, of course, has a tremendous amount of power on an endpoint. I literally can erase a computer if I wanted to. We're not gonna, but we could. And so whenever from the other way, let's say somebody in Mimecast wants to take an action using SentinelOne, we give them a tool set that they normally would have access to. Endpoint tool sets. So things like disconnecting a device from the network. If I suspect that ransomware might be involved, I need to quarantine that system and not allow it to talk to anybody. You can do that. We want to restrict a user's USB access. Whoa, this guy's under legal hold. We don't want him to be able to take data out. Departing employee, wonderful. Let's restrict it. He now can plug a thumb drive in, he can bring data in, but he can't take it out. Or knocking a system completely off the network or a user completely off the network. There's a ton of power. We even have a lot more. We have something called remote script orchestration where we could push and execute any script that we want to on the endpoint itself. And if you're into scripting, the world's your oyster. You can do whatever you want.
So just to recap there, so in the Mimecast platform, whether you're using our insider product or an email product or human risk, you can actually take these actions directly in our platform. If you're in the Singularity platform, incident response, alerting, you can actually take all of the email typical patrol actions there. So it's really the power of synchronizing two platforms together. And I think, any final words?
No, I think this is the key to security. Where we are, where you have tools in your environment, both SentinelOne and Mimecast, this is the next generation of cybersecurity. It's no longer just saying, wow, I can go to the Gartner Magic Quadrant and pick somebody up in the top right. It's saying, how well do my two tools integrate and talk to each other? Because working together, we can improve the security posture of both solutions.
I appreciate the partnership, Joe. Thank you
Very much. How about a nice round of applause for the two Joes? You guys should take that show on the road. That was good. And Joseph, I assume that if you guys have a tier, we will give you one of our tote bags and a card that you scan, and you could be the winner of those sunglasses. So